So I get asked all the time, Spencer, how do you generate 6 figures per year from surplus funds, but do it in a way that's as passive as it can be? Meaning, hey, I love my job, or maybe I hate my job, but I want to spend a lot of time with my family. I don't want to spend 40, 50 hours a week working on my business. I want to have time to do other things in life. And so this video, I'm going to break down the exact 3 steps that you need to know to build a 6-figure per year, or even more, surplus fund business while keeping it part-time. And so step number 1 is to have a really clear, defined system, okay? And so what do I mean by that? In order to have that, you first have to go through it and do it yourself. So at first, you're not gonna have it be part-time, okay? You're not. You're gonna have to be doing things on your own to learn how they're done, okay? That's option A. Option B is to join some sort of a course or program where we can give you the systems, okay? But assuming you're not doing that, you're gonna have to be doing it on your own, learning the systems themselves, and then documenting how you want those systems done and giving those to, which is step 2, hiring virtual assistants, okay? So you wanna build out the systems and how everything should be done correctly, and then you're going to go in and you're going to hire virtual assistants for step 2 to be doing those things for you. So for example, with your marketing and client acquisition process, meaning how you actually go out and get deals, right? Where you want to have a clear, defined step-by-step checklist of how it's done correctly, and then you want to hand that checklist off to a virtual assistant. It's called an SOP, right? You want to have a clear SOP, standard operating procedure, for how something's done, and you hand it off and train them how to do it. And then once you've done that, right? Once you've clearly documented every part of the overall business and made it a simple system, and you have your virtual assistants doing that for you, and you probably have 1 or 2, maybe even in-house people, not necessarily virtual assistants doing it for you. The last step then is to build out a leadership team. Now this is if you want to get to 7 figures a year, okay? So there's this leadership model in business called RACI, okay? R-A-C-I. R stands for responsible for. So your VAs are going to be responsible for doing the tasks, right? So by responsible for, what do we mean by that? It means like if I teach one of my virtual assistants to make cold calls, they're responsible for making those cold calls happen. That's what they're responsible for. Then the next letter is A. A stands for accountable to. So the person who's responsible for it, well, they need to be held accountable by somebody. So you need to have somebody there that's holding them accountable. Now at first, when you first have a VA, that'll be you. You're going to be holding those people accountable, right? And even before you have a VA, you'll be the one responsible for it too. But you need to have someone responsible, you need to have somebody accountable. Then above that, you have the C. C stands for consulted with. So what happens when the person responsible for it has a problem? Well, they go to the person that's, holding them accountable. Well, what happens if both of them don't know how to solve it? Well, they need to be able to consult somebody. Now, ultimately, that'll probably be where most people end up with surplus funds. I haven't seen a surplus fund company get to the I layer yet, even the biggest ones I've seen. So informed on is basically somebody where you're literally doing nothing. All you're doing is getting a report every single week or every single month or every single day, however many times you want, telling you exactly what's happening in the company. But you're not solving any of the problems. You have people solving the problems for you. You're not responsible for anything. You're not holding anybody accountable. It's just running its own, it's growing on itself, okay? And that's the ultimate form of where you want to go. So think R-A-C-I, RACI, okay? That is a leadership structure that I use in my companies, and you have to think about where you're at any given, time. And the last thing I'll say is kind of a bonus tip for making 6 figures part-time with surplus funds is understand that the hardest part of any business is getting the business going. It's getting started, right? But once you've gotten the initial rock over the hill, right? You've pushed it up you pushed up the hill. Now you've got that downward momentum, and it's a lot easier to get it going. It's just like when you're working out in the gym, right? Like you don't work out once and then you're in great shape, right? What happens is you work out over and over and over and over again, you build the habit of that, and then you get into great shape, and then you can cut it down a little bit and just maintain if you want to maintain. It doesn't take as much effort as is when you're building it, right? Hopefully that makes sense. I wanted to make this kind of quick video because people ask me all the time, Spencer, I want to build a surplus fund business, but I have my job, I love my job, or Spencer, hey, I'm retired. I don't want to take on a full-time career, but I want to be making 10, 20K a month from surplus funds. How do I do that while not giving up my retirement? Or how do I do that without giving up my family time or my hobbies or my job or whatever it is? So hopefully that makes sense. If you like this video, drop a like button down below, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. We're going to be releasing videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. So make sure you're getting notified for those, and Fridays apparently. So every day, we're going to release videos every day. So make sure that you're subscribed, and I'll see you on the next one.